Welcome back to the workshop. I'm Bill, and today I'd like to talk more about theory of operation, and to do that I want to show you my favorite stove. I got this from another collector last summer. This is what it looked like when I first got it. It's been through a full restoration. But this is an early stove from 1928. Coleman started making stoves in the early 20s. And as you saw in one of our previous videos, they had the instant light feature that came about in the 30s. And that allowed you to light it without preheating. Now, you remember stoves have pretty big generators, so they take quite a bit of heat before they run right. These old stoves didn't have that instant light feature, so they had to be preheated. Coleman referred to this as a hot blast. And in a minute here you'll see why. Let me tell you a little bit about the stove. It's a Model 9D. During the 1920s, Coleman made two models of stoves, at least as far as suitcase stoves go. There was the Model 2 and the Model 9. They're exactly the same, but the Model 2, instead of having these windscreens that fold back into the lid, they actually had an entire oven unit that folded out in multiple pieces and created an oven that could then fold over and sit over the top of the burners. I'm hoping next summer I've got one of those in the works as a restoration project, and maybe next summer you'll see that. Look at this Model 9. There was a Model 2 and a Model 9, and then there was a B, a C, a D, and then the E, which is similar but has some significant differences because it was the first to introduce the instant light. But this is the last of the hot blast stoves. The way this lights is we've already pumped up, this 9D and the 2D were the first to have an integrated pump. So we've already pumped up the fuel pressure, the fount, so there's pressure in there. So we'll open the valve just a little bit, and you see this complicated cast iron manifold is unlike what you see on the later stoves. I'll put this back, you'll see there's a little cup here. That's what we're going to use to preheat. So we'll move the tank back. The generator's in line with a little backsplash here, and we'll open the valve just enough to let some fuel out, and it'll fill that cup. Now, I'm going to light that. I tell you, my grandparents' generation were made of sterner stuff because I don't think this would pass safety inspection these days. So gasoline burns in that cup, and you can see it's surrounding the end of the generator. There's also fuel in the generator, so as it heats, it's going to start building up pressure, and you'll hear that roar. And we want to let this run for probably about a minute. Once we've got a nice blue jet on that, then it's time to move it back, and we'll light the burner. Just a little bit. All right, it's ready to go. So at this point I'm going to light the match. Quickly move it back. We'll light that burner. And unlike the other stoves where we have to wait for it to warm up to light the auxiliary, we can light the auxiliary burner right now. And there it goes. That's a hot blast stove.